Peace, assalamu alaikum, and hotep to the Pan African Black world. Today, this is your brother Shabazz. We're going to look beyond the smoke and mirrors this morning, today, what have you. We're going to try to clear up one of the most misused talking points in conversations about Black Americans and Black immigrants. Now, before we get started, if this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. If this is, if you are a repeat viewer, thank you for returning. But make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, select all on the notification bell, and share this video with other like minds. Now, let's cook. Now, you probably already heard it before. People love to say, and let me slow down. When I say people, I don't mean people in general. Yeah, I mean white people. And then for some reason, for some odd reason, somehow, confused black folk pick up the talking points and start running with them. But anywho, people love to say, black immigrants they come to this country and they're more successful than African Americans. They come to this country with barriers and they achieve greatness. Why can't you people do it? So that's the narrative. And that's where we're going to look beyond the smoke and mirrors so we can see what the real truth is. Because that comparison is statistically meaningless. And let me tell you why. And I do literally mean meaningless. The comparison itself is rigged. When you compare a self-selected immigrant group of about 4.6 million people to 50 million African Americans at large in mass, you're not comparing culture, you're not comparing work, you're not comparing values. You're comparing immigration policy. You're comparing immigration policy filters to an entire population with 400 years of structural barriers, 400 years of survivorship, 400 years of struggle, and yes, Black excellence. But here's the thing, most Black immigrants arrive with differences. They arrive on or through education-based visas. They arrive through professional visas. They arrive through family reunification with relatives who already cleared those filters. What does this mean? It means that the US immigration system is pre selecting for degrees, for skills, for resources before they even land. So there is absolutely zero merit to the idea, to the notion, the talking point, the poison pill that certain people like to push called cultural superiority. All that is policy selection bias. The real deal is comparing like to like. So if you want a real comparison, here's the only honest one. You compare Black immigrants who have this profile to African Americans who have this profile. So you would have to look at African American college graduates, African Americans who live in or are born in the middle class, the upper income, the upper class, the upper income. You would have to compare the African American professionals. You would have to compare the successful African American entrepreneurs. And oftentimes, these would be the brothers and sisters who are first generation college grads or legacy degree holders. Once you do that, the narrative collapses. And so when you look at those numbers, African Americans have somewhere around, somewhere around, somewhere around 30% bachelor's degree attainment. That is millions in the middle and upper middle class. And I haven't even touched the upper class. There are far more doctors, far more engineers, far more lawyers and STEM professionals when we look at absolute numbers than Black immigrants. That's just the simple mathematics of it all. So when you compare equivalent groups, the outcomes are similar. Now, y'all know everybody likes to shout out Jay-Z when they start talking about math and numbers because numbers don't lie, and we know who else does. Now, here's the part that people don't want to talk about, or here's the part that people don't know to talk about. There are more Black American doctors and engineers than African immigrants overall. Now, this is not an opportunity for a big-headed African American to get all FBA-ish, because that fact does not mean that Black immigrants aren't successful. Clearly they are. This is not a shot at Black immigrants in any way. This means you can't compare a population of 4.6 million who have a specific set of characteristics to a population of 50 million and pretend it proves anything about culture, success, survival, or anything else that we can populate the list of adjectives and synonyms that are all rooted in who first started this conversation, the divide and conquer tactics of Urugu. If you compare Nigerians in America, so let's look at this, to Nigerians in Nigeria, since you want to bring up Nigerians in America as a success story. If you compare Jamaicans in America to Jamaicans in Jamaica, since you want to bring up a comparative success story, you will see the same pattern. Immigration selects for the most resourced, the most educated, the most mobile people. That's just how immigration works. The real point I'm getting at is this. The next time you hear this conversation jumping off, whether it's in the office, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's on the streets, or in these digital spaces where everybody loves to scream and holler at each other. Next time you hear someone say, Black immigrants outperform African Americans, the correct response is simple. Bruh, why don't you compare like to like? Why don't you compare Black immigrants to African Americans with the same education, income, and professional background? Because once you do that, the immigrant superiority narrative disappears. And what's left is this truth: African Americans are not underperforming. Quite factually, they're outperforming the expectations set by 400 years of structural barriers and still producing a massive, thriving middle and upper class. This is your brother Shabazz. This is the proper perspective. And if you agree or disagree, let's duke it out in the comments. Tell me what you think. Peace.